Welcome to the Invest Well Show. I'm your host, Michael Wall. We're joined today with a great guest. Going to get that in just a minute, but we're going to talk about getting real with your money. Yeah, get real with your money. What does that mean? By the way, this is probably one of the most impactful conversations that you're going to hear about investments and wealth in some time, and it's not being talked about out there. So you're going to hear about it today on the Invest Well Show. All right, so here we are, Nick Guida, Guidance Wealth Advisors. He's really become a great friend. Nick, first off, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Happy to be here, Michael.
And Nick, full disclosure, when I wear my other hats, we are in some of our other companies a strategic connection through U.S. Private Wealth. I've been in the space for a long time, and we've connected. But I wanted to have him specifically on this show because, Nick, I'll tell you, we're talking about getting real with your money, and this is a conversation that just families are not having. People are not having, and advisors are not having with families and clients. It's just not part of the conversation oftentimes. And so what does that look like? You know, help the listeners and viewers, like, what are we talking about here? When you talk about get real with your investments, what are you meaning?
It's really important to be able to find out the root of what's important to people. Many times people either have financial advisors for years and they just talk about, okay, well, it did X% return this year, or whatever the case may be as far as investment performance. But most financial advisors or wealth managers don't really get into the root of what the difference is, what it is that the goals are of the people that they're working with. So we really try to drill down, especially even in that first encounter with people, to see if we might be the right fit or not be the right fit, to be able to drill down and find out, really at the core, what is the difference to them if they are able to help preserve and protect their money better, if they're able to save money on taxes. What do they want to be able to accomplish with that? So, I mean, if we can show people how to be able to get better returns and save money on taxes, and what's the end goal? What is some of those things? And so we hear a lot of different feedback from people when we do that. Sometimes it's people wanting to just be able to help their grandkids be able to pick the college of their choice. Sometimes it's to be able to take more vacations. Sometimes it's to be able to, just be able to have a bigger impact on the world philanthropically, to be able to give to the charities that they want to be able to give. I mean, it really, everyone has a different type of reasoning, a different type of purpose that they want to carry out. So that's what we really try to drill down and be able to help people to create a planning around those areas so that they can actually create those types of goals and set out to achieve them in the future.
Why is that important though, Nick? I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you're not a therapist, right? You're not a shrink. So it's at the end of the day, I mean, does it really matter to you to dive into those things and talk about that stuff? I mean, at the end of the day, if their investments are attended to correctly and they're reducing taxes and all of those kinds of things and protecting and growing and their wealth, why does it really matter, quite honestly, for you to have that conversation with them?
Well, the way I look at it is you get one shot at a career, one shot to be able to make a difference in this world. And what really turns me on about my type of business, wealth management, to be able to bring, really great resources and access to the families that we serve, is because I want to be able to move the needle for those people. I want to be able to connect them to the things that they're most passionate about and to be able to help people accomplish their dreams. And Michael, I don't know another career where you can have a bigger impact on people's lives other than being able to help navigate the portfolio and help to be able to make to guide to make better decisions so that people can actually fulfill their dreams and then, just live more fulfilling lives. So in return, that's what I get from it.
Well, I'll tell you, it is refreshing, because Nick, we're in a place where there's so much in the world, in particular in the financial space, where there's just folks out there and they're primarily product driven. They're selling products. They're not building plans. They don't really care about the people. They just want to kind of next. And that's the case. I know. I mean, listen, you're in a place where you're ticking 12, 13 years in the industry now, even though you look like you're 20. Keep that look, man. You're not anymore. You've had some seasoning in this space. You've done a lot of research. and you've really built your credibility not only as an advisor, as an authority in the space in many ways, but you're coming alongside and saying that this is important as a profession for you to actually help people unlock what is valuable to them. And I got to be honest with you, from my perspective, even when we connected on the other hats with U.S. Private Wealth, that was one of the things that I looked for. Being in the space a long time and leading in many ways myself, I said, you know what, I want to connect with people that really care about people end of the day. And I know that even when I look at your life and I look at some of the things that you're doing, you're bringing these things into the workplace, client first, family first. And I think that's so refreshing. Why else is this important, in your opinion, to really kind of tail and dovetail the purpose of where folks are trying to go into their planning specifically, instead of just, the traditional compliance questions that a lot of firms get into, which is, are you conservative, moderate, aggressive? And then a lot of times people are left to say, well, I want to protect my money, but I'd like to make as much as I can at the same time. Oh, you must be moderate, right? And those are just the general questions. But your desire at your firm, Guidance Wealth, really is to dive deeper. And I love that. But why is that important in relation to the planning side of it now as well?
Because we really build custom. And that's kind of one of those hot topic words, right? Where you hear that a lot about building custom. And then what happens is a lot of people end up going into a financial advisor or a wealth manager's office. They fill out a questionnaire on their risk tolerance. And then again, that advisor will just put them in portfolio A, portfolio B, portfolio C on a stock to bonds type of split. And there you have it. They're on to the next client.
Yeah.
Where we're really different. We actually are taking the time to get to understand what the people that we're serving, that what their needs are, what they want to do with the money, what the money is for, so that we can build a custom plan to be able to take care of the income, to be able to do those travels plans. We're going to make a list of what places they want to go, or if they want to move. Sometimes we're sitting down with people who want to move to maybe some more tax-friendly states or move south. We call them
the smile states.
The smile
right?
states. That's right, down in Florida or
Yeah.
Carolinas or wherever that may be. But to be able to start having that conversation, to put some pen down on paper and be able to really develop the plan and build custom, and then utilize resources to be able to bring that to table and bring that to fruition in the lives of the people that we're sitting down with and working with on a day-to-day. That's very fulfilling on my side of the table, as well as the people that we're working with, so that we're checking off bucket list items, that we are creating planning in areas that maybe they've never talked about before, or reducing risk in areas. I mean, we have a lot of people who have real estate, for instance, and maybe they don't have the right property and casualty insurance, or don't have LLCs set up, or trust work that needs to be done to be able to help protect them, so that if somebody, God forbid, the house, the roof caves in on one of those properties, everything is at risk, and that people can be vulnerable in that space. So we're seeing that a lot. So being able to take the extra time to be able to really work things out, so that we can first protect people, and then we grow the portfolio and also reduce taxes wherever possible, so that we can help people actually accomplish what they're set out to do, instead of just looking at numbers on a page. It's a lot more than that.
Well, it's total planning. And really that's the way it should be in a lot of ways. And I want to end with this, and I love this fact about you guys. I know we've talked about this. You literally at your firm, you guys have chosen, quite honestly, to reserve the right to not work with someone. And that is rare. I'll be honest with you, because I think there's a lot of firms out there that they are in a place where it's kind of like, if they walk into the door and they got some monies, they're going to work with them. And you guys literally reserve the right to not work with folks because you're value driven and purpose driven yourselves. What does that mean, and why is that important?
Yeah, well, we've come a long way to get to the place that we're at right now, to be able to say that we understand we're not the right fit for everybody. We don't want to work with everybody who has money, that has accumulated wealth that comes in the door. We really want to be able to come alongside people and help them to make great financial decisions, and to be able to provide great access to resources. And sometimes, for one reason or another, somebody might not be the right fit, and that's okay. We don't need to work with everybody. We're really only taking on a certain amount of clients every single year that it makes sense to take on, so that we don't dilute our time, and that we can really spend the time necessary to focus on building the custom plan and the custom experience that I think clients are looking for. People don't want to just be treated like a number, Michael.
Yeah.
They want to be able to have that individual attention and that attention to detail in their planning from their wealth manager, and to be able to hop on the phone and be able to go through things that are really important to them. And too many times people just feel like a number, and that's really what we're trying to get away from in the industry. I feel the financial industry is really broken in a lot of ways.
Very much so.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make a difference.
Well, and you spent a lot of time, and I love this, working on your business and not just in your business. That's why you're kind of beginning with the end in mind. You're thinking about the fact that instead of just like, yeah, hey, come on in, we'll make more, and just help more, you're thinking about the reality of like, okay, what does this actually look like from a service perspective long term, and actually continuing, not just now, but continually years to come, adding significant value to the families we serve. Nick, thanks so much for joining us on the show and just sharing some thoughts about getting real with your money.
I'm happy to be here, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah. So listen, as you're watching this show and listening to this, guys, here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Regardless of what you end up doing with your wealth, I want to challenge you to be in a place where you are seeking out, right? Don't just be putting the head in the sand and saying, well, I've been with Johnny or Sally or whoever for all these years, but really seek out someone that is in a place where, or a firm that is in a place where they are purpose-driven, value-driven, and they're really looking at what you're trying to achieve and taking that into perspective. Now, obviously, they got to have the tools and the resources and the investment structure, the tax planning to be able to accomplish those things. But you really want to be in a place where you're thinking about, how can I connect with someone? How can I connect with a firm, regardless of who it is, that actually has me at the center, and they operate as your CFO. You're the CEO. They operate as the CFO. And that type of relationship is one that will help aid you in actually achieving, receiving, and really, going even greater, hopefully, than the goals that you've originally anticipated as you set out in life. As always, our goal is to provide value to you along the way and help seek out firms and people and ideas and advice. Nick from Guidance Wealth has done a great job. So you got questions, reach out to them. Feel free if you're in the Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland-ish area. As always, our desire is to help you live on purpose so you can live with purpose. Be intentional. Share this show with someone that needs to hear it. Be blessed. We'll talk to you next time.